Okay, all set. Okay, what's up? What's up? We are continuing with the Ninja Bass House production. As of last Monday, this will be a similar show, kind of a shortened show. I have some stuff I have to get to for work, so I'll go until maybe 40, 45. Over the weekend, I've made some changes to the track, so I'll show you that. But mostly this is just gonna be maybe adding some white noise whooshes and risers in the drop, and getting some filler, and then also doing some EQing and some stereo placement, because I haven't done much of that yet. I've just been kind of being creative. So as of the weekend, let's see, what did I change? Yeah, so I added two pieces to the drop. This drop, second half of the drop piece, and then a drop switch. So I'll play you the drop that goes into that drop, that second half of the drop, and then the drop switch. So here you go. Here's what's changed.
Here we go. I'm a motherfucking ninja.
Okay, something's weird in here, so here we go.
I'm a motherfucking ninja.
There we go. So let's cut that out. So now let's add in some risers in here. Just short ones. Move that here. Cool. So where do I want to add these risers in? Probably going to add them in one right here. One right before this.
I'm a motherfucking ninja.
And then probably one in between here. Maybe like a downer, actually. Okay, so let's see what we could do with all that. And these short risers will help to add some color and add some I guess flow is the way to put it, some nice flow to the mix, saying, hey, here's another piece. Kind of cues the brain. So let's go in here, and I can make these myself, but usually I just grab ones that are already pre-made. If they're good, if they work, I kind of feel like, what's the point of going ahead and making them? A lot of people really like to curate their own sounds, and that's cool, and I dig that. But when I'm trying to think quick, it's kind of like, well, if someone's already made some good sounds, I'll just go with those. Here we go. Sweep ups. This might be loud, warning. But I need a short one. That could work. That'll work. So right before here, so. Great, so that goes there. Let's see where that's at in volume. Too loud, right? Great. So we're going to take this And it seems like it's really far left too. So let's bring that down by like 8. Great, so that'll work. But now I have to duplicate it and reverse it so it doesn't just die. Then we're going to take that and we're going to fade it so it dies quicker. And I could maybe even fade it even quicker. Let's do that. Okay, that should be good for now. So let's join that all together. Okay, now let's paste this other places.
I'm a motherfucking ninja. I'm a motherfucking ninja.
But we're gonna stop that right away.
I'm a motherfucking ninja.
Okay, be right back. Okay, what's up? I'm back.
I'm a motherfucking ninja.
Okay, so then we're gonna do a reverse here. We're gonna paste it, but then we're gonna reverse it. But it just kind of jumps right into it, so we need to do that. Maybe even more like this, make it ease it on. They're starting a little soon, so we're gonna do this. Okay, so EQ it. Let's see, we're at here. Okay, need more high on it, so let's pull this. And then it's pretty stereo, which is okay, but I think I want it less so. So let's toss a utility on it. So let's do 75. And it's even. Okay, so there's that. Okay, Okay, now let's go back and let's start EQing everything and see if I have EQ'd stuff. So here's the kick snare. That's already EQ'd.
Mental energy.
Okay, let's see.
I'm a motherfucking ninja.
Okay, so solo these two things. We gotta EQ these so that they, you know, they're cutting through my mix. Okay, I mostly just want this for that high. Okay, so let's cut out all that sub. I don't need that. Let's boost that transient. And then there's going to be a thump somewhere around the 1K range. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, and usually there's some frequencies in here that are unneeded. All of them, pretty much. They're not really adding to the sound, so. So when we put these together, I might need more pop here, though. Okay, so now I gotta turn these down, though. Let's do that by like 4. Where's it now? 10, perfect. That's where I want it to hit. And how about this clap? Where's that? Hitting too hard, so let's bring that down. Let's bring this down by like 3. Oh, cool. Cool. Okay, now we're gonna EQ the percussion. Now these at least going back to these, now these already are pretty much from a sample pack, so they already sound good, but there's still stuff I can do to them to make them punch through the mix even more. So that's why you've noticed on all of them I boosted a fundamental. I've added you know, boosted the transient, cut out some unneeded frequencies because they'll interfere in the mix. So even if you're grabbing stuff out of a sample pack, it's still a good idea just to mess with all these elements to make sure that they're fitting where they should. Okay, as far as percussion, that's already got it. Okay, and I think that's already panned to the left. As far as the snares and kicks go, I'm going to make sure, you know, the kicks are going to be directly in the center, but the snares I think have some stereo already, but I'm going to want to mess with the panning of these. This is already on the left, and that's fine with me. Closed hat, it's on the right, that's fine. And I think it's got, yeah.
Mental energy.
You leaving? Yeah. See ya. Have a wonderful day. Let me know if anything happens as far as Medici. Alright, okay. Bye. Okay, so
Mental energy. The spirits of mental energy.
okay, and this is pretty far to the left, but I don't want that.
Mental energy. The spirits of
and actually I think what I do want is I want I want this to be pretty stereo, so
mental energy.
so what if I do 150 on this?
Mental energy. Mental energy.
So it's kind of fitting out. So if I needed, so now I need to drop down the volume on it though.
Mental energy.
So it's kind of chilling on the outside, which is nice, and that's kind of got a unique effect to it. Open
There are
high.
spurts of mental energy. There are spurts of mental. There are spurts of mental.
Oh, okay.
There are spurts of mental.
Okay, EQ8. This, let's see.
There are spurts of mental.
Okay, so there's some low in here, but that's the point because it's an impact. I want it to have a thud.
There are spurts of mental.
I could almost pop this even higher.
There are spurts of mental.
Great. Okay, so I got to EQ all these
There are
together,
spurts of
which-
mental
they already are
energy
EQ'd.
as well as
Cool.
physical. And at other times, nothing seems to
And
be
I
happening.
I think these taiko drums are all over the place depending on which hit they are in the drum rack. But let me just let's just test that. Let's look at this.
There are spurts of mental energy as well as physical. And at other times, nothing seems to be happening. Mental, physical. There are spurts of mental energy as well as physical. And at other times, nothing seems to be happening.
Yeah, that's fitting pretty well.
Mental.
Actually. Okay, so let's add on this rise snare, this trap snare. Let's add stuff to that, or at least EQ that. Make sure it's fitting right. It's dead in the middle, which I like, so we'll keep that.
There are spurts of mental energy as well as physical.
There's unnecessary low end in there, so let's take
There
that
are
out.
spurts of mental energy as well as physical. And at other times, there are spurts of mental energy.
I might be able to give it more punch. Let's figure out where that punch is at. Let's give it a little bit more thump down here at the transient. And let's give it... Yeah, that'll sound nice. So without. See, so it's punching through a little harder. That's cool. Okay, so then I'm gonna need to drop this down. Let's say 4. Let's see what that sounds like in the mix.
There are spurts of mental energy as well as physical. And at other times, nothing seems to be happening. Mental, physical.
We could probably do a
There
0.
are spurts of mental energy as well as physical. And
I'm a motherfucking,
Okay, and I already adjusted that.
I'm a motherfucking ninja.
Let's adjust this drum fill.
Motherfucking ninja.
So there's some low in there that we can get rid of.
Motherfucking ninja. Motherfucking ninja. Motherfucking ninja.
Could use more high on that.
Motherfucking ninja.
Yeah, it's crispier.
Motherfucking ninja.
And these are this crash. And let's EQ that, make it sound crispy. It already sounds great, but let's just accentuate that. So it really sizzles. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, now I need to EQ these kicks and snares. I don't think I did that. Nope. Let's see, let's really pump this. Yeah, it's gonna make it thump through nice. Yeah, pulling above that, you know, the 5K, putting that shelf on the 5K hertz really adds a nice, just like snap on the kick. Then let's add some bump. Yeah. So this sample's already got that ducking around that around this mud area, but I can remove even more. See, so that sound's not really doing much for it. That is, and this kind of is, but. And actually, I'm noticing that right here, around this range, there is also some nice additions, some nice thud happening. Okay, so now I need to drop this volume considerably. Yeah, okay, so now I need to drop that by like 8. And I might actually need to do some minor limiting on it, because the EQing kind of pulled it out of the mix. Oh, and I'm actually almost done. Almost out of time. Okay, so we're going to make this -8. We're going to boost this by, let's say, 2. Yeah, that's okay. Now let's take this snare switch, EQ it. Okay, same as all of the samples. I got low end here. I don't need. This high end, let's do this. Yeah, so that's adding a nice thump. So it's likely there's a pop. Yeah, I don't need that. Okay, and then as with all the other ones, there's usually a cracker out. Yeah, there we go. See, but there's a lot of transient. I'm noticing with these samples, they're heavy samples. So when I'm doing these EQing, it really brings out the transient and really slams the meter. So I'm gonna have to probably do some sort of limiting here too. Yeah, see? So the sample kind of disappeared, just like the kick. So let's do the same thing here. Limiting, don't limit it too much. Just enough to kind of bring up that perceived volume on it. Great, yeah, that sounds great. So let's take a listen to what I have so far, just to see how all my EQing affected the mix. And let's see. As far as the cymbal goes, I think what I'm gonna do now on it is to give it a nice stereo image. It's already got one, but I'm going to push it more into that stereo. So it just kind of chills on the outside. Great, well I'd say that was a successful 30 minutes of mixing. So the only things I didn't get to was like the basses and stuff. Those are pretty much good for the most part, but let's just listen to what we have so far, and I'll take some notes on that.
Mental energy. There are spurts of mental energy. There are spurts of mental. There are spurts of mental energy as well as physical. And at other times, nothing seems to be happening. Mental, physical. There are spurts of mental energy as well as physical. And at other times, nothing seems to be happening. Mental.
And you know what I think I might do, actually? I just noticed... let's see, this break. I could bring out the taiko drums more. We're going to do some New York compression on them. So here's the taiko. Let's do some New York compression. So in order to do that, I'm going to take this glue compressor. We're going to group it. Give us 2 instances of it. We're going to call this the dry chain, which is going to have no effect on it. Get rid of that compressor, and we're going to call this the wet chain. Now I can do this with the dry wet on it, of course, but if you've watched me do anything else, this is just kind of how I prefer to do it. Okay, and then the key thing, at least when I'm doing the New York compression, is I am going to put an EQ before this glue compressor, pull out all these mids. Where is it? There we go. I'm going to cut out all these mids. Just like that. Maybe pull up here. Maybe pull up here. And then we're going to slam the heck out of it. So let's... Okay, so let's slam it. Okay, and let's, oops, no, I'll do it after. Okay, and then we're gonna take this like, so here's with it, without it. And actually, I think I want more control over this. So let's just put in here. We're gonna duplicate that. So we're gonna call this wet highs and then wet lows. Let's do this 15.
There are spurts of mental
here's without
energy
it.
as well as physical. And at other times,
And let's go to here, because this is where it really comes through.
there are spurts of mental energy as well as physical. And at other times,
Okay, so now I'm going to turn
nothing
it on.
seems to be happening. Mental, physical.
I'm a motherfucking ninja.
There are spurts of mental energy.
Cool. And then just to make sure everything's chilling, because we did all that, I'm adding some low frequencies in here. Let's pull that
There are
out.
spurts of mental energy as well as physical. And at other times, there are spurts of mental energy as well as physical. And at other times, nothing seems to be happening. Mental,
Okay, let's
physical.
pull out 4.
There are spurts of mental energy.
Cool. And that's good for now. So let's save this. Ninja House 18. Save. Great. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. This was a pretty mix-heavy episode, so maybe you got some ideas of how to go about mixing your own track. The key things today were, with your kicks and snare, making sure you have a nice transient, making sure you have a nice transient, 5K and higher. Sometimes there's also one between the 1K to the 5K, depending on your sample, and then making sure you also have a nice fundamental, usually around the 150 to somewhere between 450, whether you're talking about a kick or a snare, and also there's usually some mud around the 450 to 1K range. Also stereo. With my kicks and snares, they're mostly dead center. The snares already had some stereo imaging to them because that's what the sample was. Now, if they didn't, you might want to add that for your main snares. Auxiliary percussion, I think of them almost like a real drum set. Hi-hat on the left, at least drum from my perspective. If I'm the drummer, hi-hat on the left. Maybe a ride on the right. But you'll notice also with the crash, I kind of put it out on the stereo, out on the sides when it comes here in the drop, because it's a nice sizzle, and that just kind of keeping that sizzle out on the edges just really fills out the mix. Other than that, I didn't get to mixing the basses, the mids and the basses, and the mids and the basses don't have much sub on them yet. So I'll, next time I'm probably gonna go and add subs off of those mids and basses to fill out that track. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day. My name's Wh1tcomb. Peace.